So I am actually not a certified marriage counselor yet. In my verbiage, I am saying that we are in the process of becoming certified marriage counselors. We're using Gottman method. So the woman who cheated with my husband did not steal anything, though. Your husband gave that to her. In the beginning of my healing journey, I did view it as this, but through therapy and over time, I realized that this is not the case. Women are held equally as responsible for this, and she did steal something. She stole my mental health. She caused a lot of pain in my marriage. She caused a lot of pain with my kids. And it actually wasn't one woman, it was a few women. My husband was a serial cheater at the time and a corn addict. And something that a lot of women are not waking up and realizing is that there are women who are also addicted to corn and women who are also in pain. And they are looking for easy targets with men. They are not looking to marry these men. They're looking to practice corn on these men. Back in 2021, 123 million people joined OF, and people are unaware to the OF epidemic that is happening in our society. Infidelity is going past cheating and going into this crazy addiction that I am now completely aware to. I also recommend follow That's Not Love if you want to understand more about this and the grooming process that is happening to our youth. For us as millennials, this has been going on for a long time. A lot of our partners have been looking at corn since as early as 3 years old. 90% of children have seen corn by the age of 13, and that study was done in 2017. Since then, we have things like the iPhone, and we have easy access to corn online. A kid can go online and look at corn, and there's not any kind of blocker or ID issued for them to have process or access to those websites. And this is going on for girls as well. So there is a mentality nowadays for women, not all, but a lot of women, that they know how to target easy men. It's really sad, but the grooming process that is happening to our women is not a Cosmopolitan magazine anymore and learning 10 steps to please him. They're actually watching corn now. Watch this TED Talk if you don't believe me. It's a great TED Talk. Your daughters these days, their teacher is corn, and they're being groomed to be mini corn stars these days. They are being taught that that's how to handle things in the bedroom. And so if there is emotional avoidance in the family, if there is not a dad figure in the family to help teach that girl about her self-worth and how to be treated, if there's a girl who just feels like she has a broken heart, if she feels like she is not being given the tools from her parents on where her validation and her self-worth comes from, not from a man, but within herself or her faith, then over time, she starts to give her heart away to different men, and over time her self-worth is diminished. And so a lot of the women that my husband was with were addicted to corn, did not see him as a love figure, saw him as an easy target for sleeping with. And do I hold my husband unaccountable? Absolutely not. I held my husband equally as accountable, but my husband came to me and wanted a second chance. And so that was something that we were able to navigate. I have no control over an affair partner. I have no control over what she decides to do. But I will say this. I know that my husband has experienced sobriety for 3 years on his corn addiction. I see the work he's done. He's read 120 books the first year that we were together. He attended SAA meetings. He was meeting with a therapist twice a week. He joined a men's group that gave him accountability. He had a one-on-one partner. My husband did insane work, and this was just the surface things that he actually did. And he has been doing that for 3 years. He is committed to be in therapy for a long time. He came to me a year ago and he said, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And he wanted me to join him. And I just said, you're absolutely crazy. I'm not doing this. I'm not putting our story out for the public to see. But over time, my heart was softened, and I saw that other people needed that hope and needed a process and needed a way out. We're working with couples as coaches, not counselors, as coaches, and we're seeing tremendous progress with these couples. I mean, it makes me cry seeing these couples that are finding healing, that are learning new ways to communicate, that are working on their poor coping mechanisms, that are doing the inner work in their trauma, that are setting boundaries, that are learning how to navigate and have their voice and their needs met by speaking up and sharing those things. All these things are a lot of the tools and resources we were not given when going into marriage. And so when you've built a family with someone for years and you have kids involved and you have home, things are a lot more complicated, and it's not like dating. Dating is a whole other topic, which I don't really cover. I recommend other followers or people that create content on this that you can follow. I work mainly with marriages, and there is a lot of hope, and there's a lot of things that women and men want to fight for in their marriages. So I am not going to let affair partners off the hook. I'm sorry, I'm not. Affair partners are equally to blame. Equally to blame. They know about you, they know about your kids, they know exactly what they're doing, and they are unwilling to look at all of that out of selfishness as well, because they have emotional pain and they see your partner as an easy target. And they pursue it. They pursue it relentlessly. OF girls pursue it relentlessly. And I think a lot of women who have this mentality, and even men, are going to be humbled quite significantly in the next couple of years if they don't wake up and realize what corn is leading to. And that if they don't set boundaries for what cheating looks like to them, they're going to get hurt. And that is why I create the content that I do, to show women that there is a way to navigate through this. Whether they stay or they go, I support that. The other thing too is that, with not setting the proper boundaries and understanding how this is a slippery slope, we actually allow a lot of things into our relationships that we don't view as red flags. And I would say this, if you choose that you don't want a monogamous relationship or a man who has eyes for you and wants to have fidelity in the relationship, that's a completely different story. That's fine. Like, if you guys both choose that, that's fine. But that is not what a lot of women want. That's what some men don't want. And we are now realizing and waking up to this epidemic of corn addiction. That is what my husband's and my content is about. My husband coaches men through corn addiction and finding recovery and sobriety. And I now coach women who are going through betrayal trauma to find their voice again, to set boundaries, to understand how a process that they need as wives and how to navigate this, that it cannot be handled passively, that it cannot be ignored, that there's certain boundaries they have to set because their partners are going through denial. And that is where relapse happens.